Well, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a very, very crazy day here in Lordeaux. Obviously, we thought that the craziest of all things had passed when S.C.A.M.M.I.N.G so graciously fell yesterday. However, as it turns out, things only get crazier. At the top of the show, I do just want to address something very wild that happened today. One of my co-hosts, Aesel, was unfortunately killed. And I say unfortunately, not knowing the truth behind her mission, as she was a spy in our ranks. Oh, there appears to be a black screen. Hold up. We will get this fixed right away. Cool. Apologies. There was a spy in our ranks. There was an individual by the name of Aesel who was one of our reporters, and she tried to murder the Prime Minister today. Procrastination. Unfortunately, as things have gone, she's now dead. And we have nothing to do but to face the facts of the situation, which is that she was, unfortunately, a spy. Who she was working with, we have no idea. Because, unfortunately, all we were left with was a note in her dead body's hand that said that her boss made her do it. Meaning that she served a different boss outside of me, obviously. Because, folks, I would never do something like that. Like, I'm a Lordeaux patriot here. But somebody was giving her orders. And this is something that we, unfortunately, need to address here at Box News. So don't worry. We are working on it right now. We will be trying to fix and figure out what is at hand here. Folks, I fear that there's some sort of global conspiracy afoot. Something stinks. And I am going to get to the bottom of it, everybody. I am going to get to the bottom of it as your host of Box News. But there is plenty of other stuff to talk about outside of my co-host dying. One of the main primary things, of course, is the big bill that got passed. And you know what? Before we talk about the big bill, we should talk about the fact that the Cavalry Party has remained in power, ladies and gentlemen. They have formed a new coalition with Evil, which they're saying is the smartest thing that they've ever done. And we have an interview with Mastic of the Cavalry Party right after this. You're not going to want to miss it, where he will kind of go into detail about the whole ordeal. But let me just tell you, fantastic play by Cavalry working with our luxurious EVIL party. And in one of their first orders of business, they passed a bill, which I will read out to you now. The substance of marijuana is going to be fully legalized within Lordeaux. You guys have nothing to worry about. The Ministry of Immigration is going to be formed, so we don't have to worry about people from the republic formerly known as S.C.A.M.M.I.N.G walking our streets unrighteously. Obviously, we want the good ones, but we know that they're not sending their best. The removal of the operation of personal poppy fields, the trade of pufferfish, possession and trade of poisonous potatoes. We will not be leaving animals unattended within the walls of Lordeaux. And we are going to be banning the possession and trade of pasteurized milk because it's just bad for you folks. And this has been confirmed multiple times. You will not be allowed to swim in the fountain, no excessive littering. Ultimately, completely a group of common sense laws and rules. So we're obviously fully thankful for this. An individual actually was imprisoned in the first day of this new common sense government. And apparently Vesey was planning to attack our government. There was a conspiracy afoot that one of their members had killed S.C.A.M.M.I.N.G, who was the leader of the Libertarian Party, who was just graciously voted into power today. Unfortunately, very, very short-lived as they are now dead. And it is honestly quite a shame that they have now passed. But I'm sure that the force will be dealt with because Lordeaux is a very, very righteous democratic government, and they know a thing or two, folks, because they have seen a thing or two. I trust that the government will figure everything out. But I just, there's obviously concerns afoot that there is something, greater going on. And I don't know what it is. But I know that obviously Lordeaux wouldn't have anything to do with it because that'd be too on the nose. You know what I mean? They're the global peacekeeping force, of course. But yeah, additionally, a couple of people were killed. And ultimately, it's a sad day whenever we lose one of our fellow Lordeaux citizens like A School who was killed. But all we can do is keep moving forward to the next day. We will be actually right back with an interview with Mastic, one of the heads of the Cavalry Party. But before that, there's an interesting business called scamming that we wanted to check in with. So one of my co-hosts, actually a couple of them, managed to stop by and ask them what they were all about. So without further ado, go ahead and take a look at this.
All right, this is Box News. This is Mysterious.
This is Sactros.
And
today-
we are
Yeah.
the stage company of amazing miracles. Yes.
Scamming.
Yes, but we don't scam though. That's just a coincidence that
we
you know that
Scam. Oh,
Yeah.
You don't.
No, we don't.
So I'm assuming based off that, I'm at the scamming clinic.
I'm
Yes,
just gonna
this
let
is
them
a
talk
clinic.
it out.
So
they seem to have a history.
the top floor we have the clinic where we conduct all our medical, procedures, and then the bottom we have the torture. The lobotomy chamber.
Experimental medicine happens down there.
Yes. We experiment a little bit for new medical procedures to help out the citizens of Temperate Island.
All right. So actually, it's really interesting, and I believe your procedures have helped many.
Thank you. Yes, we are the best doctors in the world, like in all of Johntopia. Actually, yes.
Wow. So here, my news partner actually got lobotomized from you. So can we hear word about his procedure?
So, I was suffering from the curse of the big nose man, and he had been traumatizing me. He was in my head, speaking to me directly, and all just because I said he had an abnormally large nose, which there's nothing wrong with. But I had to come in here at the end of last session and get an emergency lobotomy. And since then, I haven't seen him, haven't heard from him, so I can say they have great ratings. And I got a 50% off discount.
True. We gave him 50%
wow.
off. Yep.
Well, thank you for having us today. Your
50% less brain.
clinic sounds wonderful. I hope there's no side effects to any of your procedures, correct?
Oh yeah, of course not. Yeah, no, don't worry.
No.
I have a PhD. I think in surgery or whatever. Yeah, so I think we're good.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with key leader of the Cavalry Party, Mastic. Mastic, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here, man. Thanks for inviting me.
Of course. First off, wanted to just say congratulations on making it through week 1 in power and then being reelected this week. I saw you guys have collectively decided to coalition with EVIL. Fantastic choice, by the way. How does it feel to be trusted by your fellow citizens for a second straight week?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, I'll address the coalition with evil. Quite frankly, it's just common sense.
Yeah.
I don't think I have to say anything else on that. But it's honestly, the Cavalry Party has endured countless slanderous campaigns against us. People didn't like how big our HQ was. People didn't like our ballroom. People didn't like this and this and this and that, right?
Right.
But I'll say, the Cavalry being reelected, it just proved that we don't need pencil pushing to prove that we can be reelected. The silent majority of the Cavalry Party is always going to be there to vote for us, no matter how much it seems like we're down and out.
That's so true, and honestly a really powerful statement. Obviously, there were some concerns with, like you mentioned, the ballroom and the HQ, but I think when you make decisions like coming together with evil, you really show that you are, in that same vein, a common sense candidate, and your party has really made a step in the right direction this week, I definitely will say. So, obviously, Lucentine, now New Lordeaux, is defeated, and if you were walking around Lordeaux, it definitely felt a little bit chaotic today. Now Vessi is the apparent threat, or Vesai. What do you have to say towards any still existing outward threats towards Lordeaux?
I will say this, whether you are inside Lordeaux or outside, we know who you are, we will find you, and we will kill you. That's all I have to say.
Wow. That is a very, very harrowing note for anybody that is watching at home that is on said list. To kind of corroborate off that, I've recently been concerned that there is some sort of global conspiracy afoot with global control as the goal. I've talked with my fellow patriots with EVIL. I've talked with some of the people on the news. A handful of people think I'm crazy. I just want to know if you can reassure me that if there is a global conspiracy afoot, that you would be able to, deal with them or confirm that you're not a part of any global conspiracy to control the world, because there's been some suspicious things with our co-host recently apparently being a part of some sort of conspiracy out there.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this. Lordeaux is the peacekeepers of the world, right? That is our God-given right to protect and serve the rest of the nations. We've already liberated and defanged the great Lusitanian threat. Soon we'll be erasing that word from the history books. It's New Lordeaux. That's what everyone will remember it as. They'll remember the great new Lordaurian 13-lane highway and giant Walmart. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be big. It's going to be great. But yeah, no. If there is any global conspiracy, it's actively against our interests to support because, we want to safeguard all other nations. We're the peacekeepers of the world. So if there is any global conspiracy, trust me, we will deal with them. We will kill them all.
That's fantastic news. It's good to know that we have such a common sense individual at the helm of Lordeaux. Now, I'll leave you with one final question, and it's really a formality. It's a matter of, we already know how you feel ultimately because of your decision to coalition. How do you feel about raw milk, Mastic?
Well, I personally think that pasteurized milk, as UF 1010 wisely said, it was invented by Flux. It was invented by Fluxon. And I think, I personally think, I'd go even further. I think pasteurized milk has like Lusitanian cameras and like Lusitanian like bombs like strapped into the buckets, right? So not only is it a matter of your health, it's a matter of your safety. If you take a sip from this Lusitanian pasteurized milk, your head might explode. Like who's to say? There might be like microbes in there that will like genuinely just blow off your head. It's dangerous, folks. You gotta stay away.
I agree. I've actually I drink 3 glasses of raw milk right when I wake up in the morning. I've actually started something I'm calling the Connor D oil diet, where I'm having only raw meats and fermented vegetables, as well as raw milk, of course. And I would recommend everybody tap into this method because it's really quite fantastic. My gut health has never been better.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of bacteria in your gut. Yeah,
exactly. Chris, you Mysterious, do you guys have any questions for Mastic before we?
I
have one.
You go first.
Are you concerned at all about the new Lordeaux? Since we were talking about the corruption, are you scared there's going to be a corruption within that?
Can you specify exactly on what you mean?
Like, are you concerned about New Lordeaux? Since we were talking about that there might be a coalition going on, like all over the world, are you concerned that the New Lordeaux might be in that?
Well, if New Lordeaux has done anything, trust me, we see it. I have executive authority over their server and over their nation. If they do or say anything, it comes back to me or Banab. And I think they know that. They know we're watching and waiting. If they attempt anything, they will be dealt with. And they, hey, Lusitania at its full strength got overran in 2 minutes. Let's see what New Lordeaux, quote unquote, can try if they ever tried to bark back at us.
So true.
All right. So we're aware that Lusitania was a threat and that New Lordeaux could be one. But what about the other cold nations? Like Vessi, and I've recently heard about Wizard World. How would you like to deal with them?
Well, I'm a big fan of Wizard World personally. I think Wizard Wonka, I believe his name is. He's a very smart guy. He's a good businessman. I have a lot of respect for him. I would be very, very sad if he made any action against our great nation. But unfortunately, if he were to do so, we'd have to take him out. But You know, I trust my gut that he would never do such a thing. Vessi, can't say the same. A member of Vessi executed one of our great democratically elected parliament members, the Asquel of the Libertarian Party. It was such a great and proud day for our nation. You know, you could hear the tears in Oricat's voice when Asquel was announced his seat, that finally we could give this Libertarian Party a chance. You know, the smallest party in Lordeaux by a long shot, and they finally got a seat. Like, how beautiful was that? And he got killed, not even his first day into his term. It's very sad. You know, of course, School Danny has taken over in his stead, so the Libertarian Party still has some representation. But Vessi, not only did they kill a citizen, they killed a representative of the people, and that just cannot be. That's so. It's unacceptable.
Yeah,
it's unacceptable. So we are gonna have to deal with them. We will, you know, we'll give them some negotiation terms, right? They can hand over everyone involved with the killing, and we'll take them out, and they can become a democracy. Those are the terms. And I don't think I need to say what will happen if they reject them.
Yeah, I think that's probably an extremely reasonable course of action. I mean, some people try to reject the democratic process, but it will come for them all the same. Thank you so much for joining us, Mastic. We will be right back after a brief intermission with an interview with an interesting individual that you might have seen running around town today, one So-Sun. We will be right back. And everybody, we are back with an interview with So-Sun. So thank you so much for joining us.
Hello, it is wonderful to be here. I actually saw you today in Lordeaux.
Yeah.
It's nice to meet you.
Yeah, I saw you
Nice
as
to be
well.
here.
Saw you as well. A very, very hectic means of meeting. You were getting originally
course, yeah.
paraded through the streets by our Prime Minister procrastination, but it turns out, as a matter of fact, a story has come out in that you are a spy for Lordeaux, which is insane. And obviously, like, if the story wasn't out, we wouldn't be blowing his cover here. That would be very, very silly news making. But I need you to tell me, like, what was that experience like? You were living amongst Lucentinians, like you were, you know, being kind with them. I heard rumblings that, you know, I would say, quote unquote, friend of the show, Triple Lion, was somebody that you were working with. What's it like, you know, being in the belly of the beast like that and having to pretend that all of these monsters are, you know, like your friend?
Well, in the belly of the beast I was, because believe it or not, I was actually once beheld as Triple Lion's right-hand man.
Oh my
goodness.
goodness.
My whole goal in Lucentine originally was to get Triple Lion's trust and, you know, be the inside guy. And of course, it was going well until today. You know, things happened, and you know that's the whole reason why I appeared on the show, willing to give up my guys because, well, Triple Line found out things happened. It is what it is. But speaking of my experiences inside Lucentine, it's been frankly quite horrific, I will say. You know, some of those people, they scare me, man.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, like, talk about living amongst, you know, monsters. I mean, I've heard plenty of crazy rumors from Lucentine, but we're just glad, you know, here at Box News that you were okay and that you were able to make it out and still live to tell the tale. Are you concerned for your own safety now that the rumor, or I guess it would be a confirmed fact of the matter, is that you were a spy and you were working amongst them? Like, I feel like if people really felt like they were betrayed, they could seek you out personally. Do you have any concerns for your own safety? Or, I mean, look, you're, you know, as a new, you know, as a member of Lordeaux now and, you know, working with the government, you feel secure. Well, what's your stance on this?
Well, when I first made my way to the Great Nation, I thought I was completely secure. I thought, oh, you know, I'll be accepted. People won't attack me. You know, there's grudges that have happened in the past, but, you know, the past is the past. And it occurred to me that that wasn't just a thought, because towards the end of the session, some of you in the audience may have even seen me get jumped, and I had to call for backup and help. And fortunately, we were able to take down the threats, who I believe were from Versailles. But, you know, it's truly a crazy world out there. You know, you never know when you may be attacked. So my message to the audience is, you know, watch your back.
Yeah, absolutely.
And as a spy, watch who you trust.
Absolutely. I agree on this. I'm also, in a sense, concerned for my safety. As we mentioned in the interview previously with Mastic, that one of my co-hosts, Aesol, our good friend here of the show, was killed, and in her dying, clutched hands, had a note saying that she had orders from a boss. I'm concerned that there's some sort of global conspiracy afoot. So that there is a group of people in control of or hope to control the world, and they want destabilization. They want leaders dead. We had obviously the individual known as Justice on the show, and they, you know, claimed that nobody was safe. And now we have situations where I saw Will I Zombie died, and they were mentioned as a part of that. And I think I saw Will again, but it's concerning. Do you have any concerns? You were working with Procrast, like you know more about some global conspiracy, or is there anything happening?
The only conspiracy or group that I know about that's hidden in the shadows is Justice. It's not one person; it's a group, and frankly, they're quite intimidating.
You've met them?
I found myself interacting with them before, and you know, I won't go into details, but I think they're a force to be reckoned with, and you know, everybody should be aware, be careful, and watch out for the man in the mask.
That is a very harrowing message, ladies and gentlemen. So you not only lived in the belly of the beast in Lucentine, you've met with Justice?
Yes.
Oh my goodness! Wow, you are truly a legend, my friend. This Justice group, I'm you know, send a chill down my spine. I wonder if they have anything to do with Aesol's sudden decision to try to assassinate a VP. But regardless, I guess that this is a mystery that we'll have to continue to uncover. Christy, Mysterious, do you guys have any questions for Sel?
I do. So first, I'd like to get a quote. It's from the Odyssey movie, 2026. It's from the character Agamemnon, played by Benny Safdie. He said, "My misfortune was to make it home. Don't make my mistake. Don't walk in the front door expecting garlands and praise. Come in disguise." Now, relating to this quote, I want to know, is there any places, is there any nations where we should be careful in the cold biome, where if we enter, we should be careful for our own lives, where we should, you know, be extremely cautious?
I would say Lucentine itself, the fallen nation, isn't too dangerous. I think the citizens can go visit there if they really want to. But I would say be cautious of Versailles, given that they did try to jump me at the end of the session.
Right.
And everywhere else is pretty neutral, pretty peaceful.
That's good. That's good. I guess I'll close it out with one final question here. So, do you like raw milk?
Would you believe me if I said I've never tried milk before?
You've never tried. Hold up, ladies and gentlemen. We have something that we need to handle here. So we have raw milk that we make every single day in Lordeaux. It's fantastic. It's a delicacy, and I want you to have a sip live and give your live review as to what you think. Obviously, pasteurized milk is banned in Lordeaux. But raw milk is a delicacy. By all means, tell us.
Yeah, they didn't have this in Lucentine.
No, of course they wouldn't.
First sip. It's very thick and has an interesting flavor. I think it's I think I quite like it, actually.
Yes, we'd love to hear this. I mean, this is the expected answer if we're being quite frank, because raw milk is a delicacy, and we're glad that we have now outlawed icky pasteurized milk, and that everybody can drink milk straight from the tap. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for regaling us with your tales of.
Well, if you would, for 1 second, humor me here. I do have a message for someone if they are watching.
Oh, by all means, go crazy.
Well, this message is for Triple Line. I'm sure you don't trust me quite as much anymore after what happened today, but, if you're ever looking for a chance to talk, and I'm always willing to, please reach out. And I can tell you everything, the whole story, all right?
By all means.
That's my message.
Sounds great. Triple, of course, friend of the show, had him on yesterday to talk about how easily his nation got dog walked. But of course, thank you again for joining us. So it's a pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, that will be our run of show for today. Thank you so much for tuning in to Box News, and we will be back again for our recap at the end of the session tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining us.